So, hello everybody. So today we're actually going to have two different stories. One is going to be about Victoria's Secret and the rebranding that they have, and then another one is going to be about just body positivity and everything that's going on with that and what this means for that and that and just a whole different topic of its own. Anyways, so obviously my name's Alex. So let's get into this. So I actually have a couple of articles. I'll link them all down below. So we're going to get into this first one, where it says Victoria's Secret launches VS collection, announcing new ambassadors, effort to rebrand. So essentially, what it is and what Victoria's Secret is doing is they're rebranding their business, and they're going to start including people like this, which are people who are to be celebrated for their accomplishments, things that they've done. Like, I believe this lady here is a soccer player, so it's going to be a variety of people that they're supposed to be having and that they're supposed to be celebrating. And this article pretty much tells you why they're doing it and all that. Everyone, when they look at Victoria's Secret, they think, okay, this is beauty. This is what it is. This is the standard. You have your angels and all that stuff with the glitter and the jewels and the diamonds and all that. So what I find to be very interesting is with this, they're trying to have this whole female empowerment thing that they have going on. So I don't know. I feel like female empowerment, along with all these other hashtag things, are just things that people are using just to, really just to make money. That's really what it is. But they're trying to say like, okay, well, we have female empowerment. We're trying to define what beauty is, what sexy is. We're going to give women what women want, not giving women what men want. If that makes sense, with the clothing, with everything being so sexy. But I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that in particular, because there's a lot of women who like to feel sexy. There's a lot of women who are beautiful and they just want to enhance it. You know what I mean? Whether that is with the Brazilian underwear with the jewels, or maybe even the nice push-up bra, whatever. I think it's interesting that the company is saying that our entire brand was only for men, which I found was very interesting. I wouldn't necessarily say that. I wouldn't necessarily go too far as agree with that the lingerie, it's like saying, well, all lingerie is only for men and that's it. So women, your opinion doesn't really matter. You could pick up whatever color and style, but it's not really for you. Which I don't know if I would necessarily agree with. Obviously, some, but I don't know. I wasn't really feeling it when I read that. But this whole rebranding thing is to try to give women back the control, give them back of what is sexy, what it means to be a woman, right? So with this, they're like, okay, we have women who have accomplished many things in their life, this and that, and the third. So I find it to be interesting. So I'm gonna actually read these first two paragraphs, because I find that these are actually, the article is relatively long, I guess you can say. But it really has like a lot of like screenshots from like Twitter and stuff like that in there. But I'll go read the first two paragraphs and then we'll go down and actually scroll down and look at some of the stuff. So it says, on Wednesday, Victoria's Secret announced a new VS collection in a long overdue effort to rebrand and leave behind its era of sexy fashion shows, bejeweled fantasy bras, and angels. Yep, the angels are no more. So, what I want to say about the fashion shows, I believe it's been 2 years that they haven't done it. Whatever. I believe the last one they did had Halsey when she did her live performance and whatnot, which I actually really enjoyed, But we'll get into all of why I feel all of this stuff is also happening. The move is likely a way to distance the lingerie retailer from its controversies, which has piled up over the last few years, including its owner, Leslie Wexner. So yeah, so that's what, so that's one of the things. If you guys don't know about Jeffrey Epstein, look it up. His whole thing with essentially him being a pedophile, complete pervert, everything else, and having sex with minors. That's what it is. And people knew that he was a creep in that way, and things, it was like, oh, well, really. It says the harassment claims against his former top exec and calls out over the lack of diversity both inside the company and in regards to casting calls. So that's what I noticed, especially watching that when you have different models. Now, you have a lot of, you had white, Asian, black, it's just Hispanic was in there. I know one chick is Brazilian. You have people who have like different, if they're like freckled face, I'm forgetting, not the hyperpigmentation, I'm forgetting vitiligo. That's the word. You have some that have that, you have a variety now, but that's not what was previously there. If you were looking at the stuff before, people did not look like that. It was just like one cookie cutter thing, and essentially that was it. But yeah, then they're talking about how he stepped down, Wexner stepped down, which that has a huge thing to do with their brand as well. The fact that you have like a pervert, with models and stuff, and a lot of people don't like that. And I completely agree, But it goes on to say the new VS collection or collective includes soccer star, actress and businesswoman, models, and professional skiers. So, and that's who these people are. They have all their names right there so you guys can see. And it gives like a little quote of what it is that they've said. So in regards to this, I look at it and I get where they're going with it, but I don't know. Is it a little too late? I don't know, because people have been complaining about this stuff for a while. It takes until your sales are plummeting. Your CEO steps down because he was involved with the sex trafficker and, child rape and all of that. And, people have been talking about this stuff for years and nothing has changed. But now it's like, oh, well, now we got to change it. Now we have to do something about it. But it's like, well, why didn't you do something about it before? You know what I mean? And then they're talking about, it's an ever-growing group of people who have accomplished something. So it's not just models who all they've done was model and that's it. Because I guess now they're looking at it like, well, how are you really empowering anyone if all you did was just model? So now they're bringing in that, which, I get it. With this whole thing, they also have a board. I think it's like 8 people and 7 of them are women. So that's supposed to bring in a little extra authenticity. Now, I don't know if that's, I don't know. I kind of feel like it's a bit too late. Now, there's a lot of women who enjoy Victoria's Secrets and they'll continue to shop there and whatnot. But after everything that's happening, I can kind of see why you're doing what you're doing. And now you're trying to add more women, but why weren't they already there in the beginning? It's clothing line. It's lingerie for women, and you don't have women there, But yeah, their sales have been declining. But another issue I want to bring up, which is one of the biggest issues, is just the whole fact of, the image that they show. So for example, the average height of women in the US in particular, but the average height of women is 5'4". Okay. I looked it up and I got articles and I'll link them all down below. But I looked it up. Their like starting height for models is 5'8". And then it goes up, where the average height that I was seeing was about 5'10". Around 5'10" was the average height, but the shortest you can be is 5'8". Well, that right there, even though it may look like it's just height, that right there, you're already saying, well, oh well. You know what I mean? It's like saying when you're a football player, well, you can only be 6 foot, so anyone shorter than 6 foot or 6'1", you're out. You'd be like, what? So because at the end of the day, modeling is also a talent, and not everyone could just get up on stage and, do it, So it's also a talent, and you're looking at it and you're like, okay, well, we're just going to cut all these people out. So there's one group already gone. And that was also, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is because that is a problem. People are looking at that. People have been complaining and looking like, yo, I mean, you got some tall person up there. I know that's not going to look like that on me, because when you're taller, proportionate, things are proportioned differently on you as opposed to someone who's shorter, So that's also been a complaint. Another thing is the weight. I was looking at a lot of these people's weights, and the weight was like 120, 125. You're 5'10", you're 120, 125, 128, 130, which is really, 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 really skinny, So, and if you look, people are not that skinny. Like, women are not that tiny. That's just what it is. Even compared to our height, people are not that tiny. So automatically you have an unrealistic look of what a female is supposed to appear to be, rather. And I mean, that's also another reason why. And that's one of the biggest complaints that people have, is that you don't look like me, not in skin tone, color, whatever the case may be, hair texture, but also like height and weight. I don't look like that. You're tall and very skinny, and I'm like, plumped, filled out, whatever, and short. So it's like, this doesn't even look like a realistic image. And every time I see him, and of course it's all for show, the makeup and whatnot. So I think that part is a little, it's a little much, considering the fact that it is a show. That's what you have the wings for. That's why you have them wear like 30-pound wing. I heard them things are heavy, but that's why you have all that stuff, because it's just to give the look, the appearance, But yeah, I mean, with the size, that's one of the huge, the main things that I've noticed with that. And it's like, I mean, you have stories, like these crazy stories that I've heard and that I've read about women, cutting weight, really. And, they're talking about, I haven't eaten, you have people who, they'll, bulimic, throw it up, or people who just aren't eating at all, and they're, passing out and stuff like that. And it's because it's unhealthy. You know what I mean? When you look at some people and it's like, is that your walking weight? Is that how you're actually supposed to be? And I get it, you're doing for a job, but that's part of changing the standard. That's part of that. If everyone would change the standard and make, being a little, like a healthy weight more normalized, then that would be, more comparably, better. But yeah, I mean, it's also showing the fact that, because when you look at all of them, they're all like really skinny. You don't really see too much, like you're not seeing like abs, you know what I mean? You're not seeing, the muscles and stuff like that. So it's a lot of the promotion of just being skinny. Just have the look. That's it. Just skin and bones, really. And, don't do all the extra if you're lifting or whatever. Just do that. And of course, I know that they did their whole, I think it was for the Victoria Secret sport, where they're like trained like an angel and do this and do that. But in my opinion, from what I see you guys doing and then the actual result and how you guys don't look like you really have much muscle, I don't know if that is the same. I don't know if that's the same workout you're doing on a daily basis, because I'm looking at what you're saying you're doing. You're working out, you're doing this, you're doing that, da da da. And then I see you, and then it's like, it doesn't, I don't know. Either that workout makes you look like that or something happening, you know. But that's my opinion on that. But, you know, I started thinking about it and whatnot. I think I got an article for it. Yeah. So I started thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, you have, I mean, there's models everywhere. You have this, you got that. You got Aerie, you have Fenty, Savage, and all that. Well, what's the difference between them and Victoria's Secret? Not, you know, forget price and being sexy and all that extra stuff. But what's the real difference? Well, here's an article I have here, and it talks about American Eagle, Aerie, which is like the, you know, it's like more like the lingerie kind of, you know, underwear, panties, stuff like that. How they ditched the Photoshop. So, and I've seen this a lot with, you know, any kind of models really, where they use a little touch up and they're like, okay, we're going to make your, you know, back thinner. We're going to make the butt a little, you know, we're going to chop off this much. And then now you look like a completely different person. You know, I mean, there's plenty of videos that show like, wow, you don't even look like the same person, or you don't look that good because your body's not meant to look like that. You know, your body doesn't even look like that in real life, you know. But with Aerie, what they end up doing was ditching that. And in this article that I have, they actually talk about how when they ditched it, their sales went up. So it shows people don't want to see the Photoshop. People want to see this kind of stuff. Now, if you look at her, compare her to other Victoria's Secret models, they would say that she's completely overweight and we can't have it. In reality, she's not. This is how a lot of people look. They're not like, you know, walking around toothpicks or anything like that. She's still slim, but she's not like this giant, I mean, she's not like this itty bitty figurine, you know, for example. And I see that is one of the main problems that we have, because it's like an image like this is hard to accept, because for so long we've been, you know, like programmed and formed to thinking like, okay, this is the only thing that's good and nothing else. If it's not this, then we can't have anything else. But that is the problem, you know. So you have this, the sales went up. Look at Fenty Savage, or Savage Fenty by Rihanna, for example. You look at her, you look at her brand, what she has created. You look at the Fenty Beauty, how it's shades all the way from the lightest person all the way to the darkest person. It's stuff all the way across the board for, you know, all that different kind of makeup, concealers, whatever. Then you look at her clothing line. There are women who they're plus size, you know, they're bigger, they're thicker. You even have some skinny ones. It's not just a one size fits all. And I'm a cup and I wear a size small. So I'm expecting, or you're going to expect you who is a large, a D cup, to look like me. You know, at least when you put someone on there that looks like you, oh, okay. So that's what it'll look like on me. I mean, you wonder why your sales are plummeting, because you're not representing anyone. You know, now you're like, oh, female empowerment. How about you add some diversity to your stuff? That's really all that people have been asking for. Diversity. Add some diversity. Different weights, different heights. I mean, I really don't see how that's hard. You know, because they're making it seem like it's such a difficult thing to do, and it really isn't. If the average woman is 5'4", you can't find someone who's 5'4", 5'5", 5'6", who is, you know, an average size or whatever. You really can't find that? Or, you know, from this size to this size? That's really difficult. And that's something I don't get. Why don't you know what people want? That's really what I don't understand, because you know what people want. You know what people have been asking for. and they literally have a rock and they're just throwing it at you, right? And they're like, here, this is what I want, this is what I want, this is what I want. And you're like, I don't know, what do you really want? And it's like, I'm literally in your ear screaming, this is what I want, and you are still refusing to do it. And then you're like, well, man, I wonder if that's what they wanted. I don't know, maybe I'm going crazy, maybe it's not. And it's like, everyone's telling you. I don't get it. I really don't get it. I mean, I don't get how hard it is to just have people of various shapes, sizes, and looks. I don't get how that's hard. I don't get how that's hard. You know, I was actually reading another article, and it was about Tyra Banks, who, because you know she used to be a model for them. It was about Tyra Banks and her opinion on this whole rebranding, this and that and that, third, right? And you know, she was saying, because she was like, you know, I was their first black model, and she was saying, you know, I'm for it. How y'all doing it? Whatever you guys are doing, you know, keep it up, get it going. You know, in the most, you know, sweetest way possible, really. And it's like, the thing about it is this, I get now you guys have added more black models, and now you guys have done this. It's not enough. I don't get it. It's like you're literally just throwing a grape and being like this. Is that enough? Is that enough? And it's like, why don't I don't get it. Give me the whole vine. I don't understand what the problem is. You know, it's really not a difficult thing that we're asking of you. It really is not. That's what I don't. And then there was this article that said, are they coming back from the dead or whatnot? And it's like, I mean, it's not to body shame anyone or saying, oh, well, you know, because everyone likes to throw that stuff around, whatever. But it's not to body shame anyone and say, oh, well, you guys are just mad because you're not, you know, skinny. But if everyone is complaining about it and you're losing money because of that, along with your ties with Epstein and all that, maybe you should listen to your customers. That's what every company does. If the customers are like, oh, well, this TV, well, if it doesn't have this, I'm not buying it. And everyone's like, I'm not buying it. No one buys it. Wouldn't it make sense to change it? Because when you change it, then people will start buying it. You have to move with your community, move with the environment, and they're just refusing to do so. But moving on from that, it goes into this whole topic of body positivity. So body positivity, I actually have I guess you could say the definition of it. And this is: body positivity is a social movement focused on empowering individuals, no matter their physical weight or size, while also challenging the ways in which society presents and views the physical body. The movement advocates for acceptance of all body types, regardless of physical ability, sex, gender, race, or appearance. Which, that's also what they're doing with this movement, female empowerment, but they're also bringing in the form of, or I guess the sense of body positivity. But I don't know if they're going to go from this way to this way, or they're just going this way here. You know, so that's another thing that I don't know what they're planning on doing. But what I will say on the topic of body positivity and all that stuff, I don't know. I just feel like with body positivity, from other things that I've read and this and that and that and the third, I kind of feel as though it's kind of been hijacked a little bit. And that's going on in the sense of here's the definition. We have to accept all bodies no matter what, you know, physical ability, sex, gender, race, appearance, whatever. But I feel like it has gotten hijacked to mean that every body size is okay. Now, before you go clicking off, what I mean by that is this. Is there a promotion of anorexia or obesity? I would argue in some cases, yes. You're saying every body type is beautiful, but if you're anorexic, you're bulimic, and you're so itty bitty tiny, and you think that's healthy, because body positivity is all about your mental at the end of the day. It's not, it's about the body and, your physical appearance, but it's mainly about your mental with that, if that makes sense. So how do I perceive myself? Oh, I have body positivity. I feel good about myself. So I feel good about myself, if that makes sense. So I look at it and I think about it. I'm like, okay, well, you have body positivity. You got this, you got that, whatever. But is there a promotion of negative habits? You could be happy with being, I don't know, 10 pounds overweight, but is it okay to be 80, 200, 80, 100 pounds, 200 pounds overweight, 300 pounds overweight? Are we supposed to celebrate that? I just feel like with everything always gets hijacked, and, the original message is here and now it's all the way over here on this side of the fence. But I don't know. I just feel like, I just feel like a lot of the times it's just like, because everyone is so sensitive about everything, everyone's just supposed to accept everything, So it's like, you ask me an opinion, I give you my opinion. It's like, oh, well, you're wrong. You're terrible. And then it's like, what is it called? They'll cancel you. That's this whole thing, cancel culture. Then they'll cancel you because you asked me an opinion about health, really, and I'm not a medical person, so don't be like, oh, what Alex said, blah, blah. All right. But I just feel like this. Is it wrong for me to say, well, I mean, if you are 100 pounds overweight, that you should take more walks often so you could get down to a healthier weight? Is it wrong to say that, if you're one of those people that are bigger and you're like, well, I want to lose weight, but, this whole body positive thing, people are going to think I'm a traitor and I'm a sellout but is it wrong for you to just want to go out and take a walk? Is it wrong for you to not want to have to develop high blood pressure? Is it wrong for you to not want to have to get, develop diabetes, get a stroke, have a heart attack? Because you want to now live up to the standard that, okay, well, this is body positive. I'm happy with my body, but now I'm developing all these crazy diseases that is completely 100% linked to my weight. Is it wrong for you to want to change that? I will argue, no. It's better to be healthier than just to have this facade of, well, this is what's trending now, and then you end up dead. I mean, that's really what it is. I was actually watching a video that this one guy made. I think he was some kind of athletic, I'm assuming like a personal trainer or something like that. And he used to be completely overweight, like really overweight. And he was saying his health was tremendously being affected by it. So then he was like, you know what? I gotta do something. So he started working out. He lost a whole bunch of weight. And he was like, he was mentioning this. He was talking about this topic. And then he was like, well, show me an 80-year-old woman who's obese. And I thought about it. I was like, wow, you don't see them. If you have, I would love to know. But you don't see them. Because usually by that time, the weight has already taken its course. You know what I mean? The whole thing about that and, what I'm referring to and whatnot is just because you're body positive, there's nothing wrong if you are skinny, nothing wrong if you're a little bit overweight, but we need to be healthy. And just because you're skinny does not necessarily mean that you're healthy. Okay? That does not necessarily mean that. Because you could be skinny, be like, oh, well, I go to the gym every other day for an hour, and then you're sucking on grape soda, got the Popeyes chicken, the McDonald's, you got all the unhealthy food, all the sugars, all of it. Well, I'm skinny though, so that means I'm healthy. No, skinny does not equate healthiness. That's not what that is. That's not how that works. But being overweight, and it also depends on, in my opinion anyways, how much overweight are you? Are you 10 pounds overweight or are you 50 pounds overweight? You know what I mean? Are you 8 pounds overweight or are you, 100 pounds overweight? There's different levels to it. Now, and, everyone measures it with the BMI system and all that, but whatever. But when you look at that, it's like, okay, well, this person's overweight, I would be considered overweight in all reality because of my height, but I try to eat clean. I get on a treadmill about an hour 15 to an hour 30. And I want to try to incorporate doing 2-hour sessions, but I'm just so busy. But I would be considered overweight, but I try to eat clean and all of this, you know what I mean? So I'm just saying, like, it's not bad to want to improve your health, but if you know that you need to improve your health, you need to improve your health. So if you're just anorexic, you're not eating and you're falling out all over the place, maybe you need to be eating some clean food and eat a little bit more of it. In my opinion, not a medical doctor. But then if you're like obese, morbidly obese, you gotta definitely get some work going. Okay? Like, I used to really enjoy, and I still do, the show My 600 Pound Life. You got Dr. what's his name, Nalzardan. And, people, because I people make a lot of excuses why they can't do anything. I used to be that person that made a whole bunch of excuses for why I can't do. Well, I can't get on there because I work. Okay, well, after work. Well, I'm so tired and I can't do. And then you're just going down the roller coaster of excuses, and there's no reason for it. Because he's over here saying, even with people who are on the 600 Pound Life show, and they're like, well, I'm bedridden, I can't go to the park and walk, I can't go to the mall and walk around, if malls are still open. I don't know if they are, but I can't go to the mall and walk around. I can't do this, I can't do that. I'm a lost cause, right? And then he's like, okay, well, get some 5-pound weights, put your arm in the air, and then start moving them in circles. Go like this, go like this. That's getting some activity going. That's getting some blood going through. You know what I mean? Go like this. Maybe you got to increase it a little bit. With your legs, do some of these, those resistant band exercises. Oh, but, and then it's the excuses come, so I just feel like there's always an excuse for why people can't do something. There's always an excuse for why people don't want to do something. I feel like with this whole body positivity movement, it's okay. I mean, love your body, but you also have to understand with loving your body, what's your positioning? Where's your situation? Love your body will also mean don't eat terrible food as well, right? Would that not be considered in that? Body positivity advocates for acceptance of all bodies, regardless of everything. So if you love your body, wouldn't it be eating healthier? Wouldn't it be so you could keep it longer, which would mean not being morbidly obese as well, or so skinny you're falling out all over the place because you're not having a healthy diet or anything? I don't know. That's my whole opinion on this whole body positivity. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, obviously, in regards to that, but there's limits to it, in my opinion. I don't know. I just don't think that we should just be like, okay, everyone's accepted with it, boom. And it's like, okay, but, are we having a promotion of obesity? Because that stuff, this was just a short list of what I said: diabetes, high blood pressure, stroke, you get numbness. There's so much, stress is along with that. I'm not saying that you should be going out and being like, oh, ha, that person's fat. Like, that's childish. You know what I mean? Obviously you acknowledge they're fat, whatever. But when I say acknowledge in your head. Don't be saying, oh man, that person's fat. You know what I mean? But that's how I feel about it. It's like, I just feel everyone should try to be healthier, even if, and it's whatever, I'm not one of those people that's going to be saying, oh, well, you should become a vegan or you should become a vegetarian, because I'm not going to tell you something that I don't do myself. Would I love to become a vegetarian? Vegetarian over vegan, just because vegan, I just don't know. I don't know, man. And let me know what you guys are, if you guys are vegans, vegetarians. What do you guys eat, man? Vegetarian, I can see. You know, I made some vegetarian enchiladas before. I did the rice and beans. Um, I could eat fruit. I mean, vegetables and fruit and stuff like that. But I don't know, yo. The whole vegan, it's like I feel like that's more expensive. People are talking about like, oh, an apple costs $2, and I went to the store. My orange cost like $1. I was like, y'all tripping. I bought like 4 oranges the other day. This thing was $1 a piece. I was like, dang, y'all. y'all tripping. But I mean, I'm wondering, it's like, it must be worse when you're a vegan because not a lot of places cater to that. I mean, you can find a place here and there, but the majority of places don't cater to veganism. They just don't do that. And then I'm like, okay, well, I would love to be a vegetarian because I'm cool with that. I like my eggs and whatnot, but I'm like, I don't know, man, because I do like fried chicken, so it's like, okay, I like that, and I like some of this other stuff, so I don't know how that will work for me. Um, I don't know. I did try it one time, and it was like for, I think I want to say it wasn't for a long time at all. I don't remember, but it wasn't for a long time at all. And I tried it, and I'm like, okay, well, this is cool. I felt better, but then when you dibble and dabble in that meat, it's like, man, But yeah, man, I would love to definitely change my diet up, and but I just need to know what to make. I could do the spaghetti, potatoes and stuff like that, but I don't know, I get hungry throughout the day and I need something. But I was watching this, what was it called? It was this interview on Rogan's show or whatnot. It was with this guy, I'm like blanking on his name right now. I think it was a recent one too. And he was talking about how really you're supposed to have one meal a day, like one, not like you got a jumbo size 10 burgers or anything, but you're supposed to have like one meal a day. That's what he was saying in the clip that I saw, and I'm like, how you gonna do that? Because from what I was taught, or told rather, by my doctor, they said you're supposed to have, they were like, yeah, eat malt, little small, like snack throughout the day, essentially. So you're not having meals. So you'll have like an apple here, you have some chips here, you'll have, a cracker here, and, so you'll eat throughout the day. But this guy, oh, and then, you have your morning, noon, night meal, but then you're snacking throughout the day, but your portions for the meals are not that big. So if you're going to have like a chicken breast, 2 baked potatoes, and I don't know, half a head of broccoli, let's just say that, I don't know. If you're going to, that's a lot of food. But if you're going to have something like that, I don't know, I'm just making up something. You would have instead like half of that. So half of whatever, because you've already been snacking throughout the day. But this guy, which was interesting, he actually said that you should be eating like one jumbo, not jumbo, but you know what I mean, like one meal a day, and do fasting, like intermittent fasting. So, if you like maybe fast for, I don't know, 10 hours or something like that, and then you eat, so your stomach starts growling, you're like, ugh, but his way of thinking about it, and I wonder if that's how it is. I've never fast because I like to eat. I'm sorry, but I've never fast. Me just not eating, skipping breakfast. I mean, I guess it's considered fasting, but I never really like intentionally did it. So I'm over here watching it or whatnot, and it's pretty much you eat and then you fast for a period of time, whatever. I don't know. I get it, because it's making your body. He was saying that it's making your body not as relaxed, if that makes sense. So it's like when you're eating, you feel relaxed and you're like, okay, I get to relax, I'm calm, I'm good, but he was saying, he was like, your body needs that extra, for lack of a better term, struggle. The body needs that. So they know that, okay, I'm not gonna, be relying on this, if that makes sense. Obviously he explained it better, but yeah, I mean, I thought that was pretty interesting because I know that a lot of other people, I mean, they fast, like you have like Ramadan, for example, and you have different types of the year and whatnot that people fast, or, people just do it just because as well, for depending on who you are. I've never done it though, not really, not intentionally, like I said, but I would love to actually possibly try it. I just don't know how I'll feel, like what all goes in that. I mean, can I have tea while I'm fasting? Can I have water? Because then I get nervous and I'm like, well, I heard you're supposed to drink water every day. And then am I not drinking water? What am I doing? How long is the fast for? How long can you fast for? If I'm going to like start it, should I like, I don't know. You know what I mean? It's like if I'm going to like start fasting, for example, should I go like, I don't know, 5 hours? But then I think about it and I'm like, okay, I get about 6 hours of sleep, 6 or 7 hours of sleep. So is that not considered? I mean, I get it, you're sleeping, so you're not really, I mean, but is that going into hours of fasting, or do I have to like be up and moving for it to count as 12 hours of fasting? Or I could be like, okay, I fell asleep for 6 hours. So 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So for 6 more hours, how does that work? I just don't, I don't know. I don't like to eat. I don't like being uncomfortable, But I mean, that would probably help me, with my eating and whatnot. I know like certain days I'll go and make my breakfast smoothie, I guess you can say. Or, I'll put in like different stuff, here and there, whatever. If I have like protein powder or something like that, I would do that. But I don't know. Like, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Have you guys ever fasted? How long have you gone for? Did you enjoy it? Did you get a benefit from it? I mean, like, how does that whole situation work? Would you do it again? How long, I mean, what do you do? and how do you get your mind off of not eating? That's one of my main things. Like, okay, well, what am I going to do? Am I just going to like stand here? And I mean, is there something that you do so you can try to get your mind off of eating? Because I know the impulse will be, man, my stomach growled, let me go get me something to eat. So now it's like, I can't go get something to eat. So what do I do? I don't know. I would love to know what you guys think about it and what your opinions are of it.